Ouija board has been around as far back as 540 BC.
I guess if Barbie dolls have been around that long, you'd be talking to them too.
And that's about as good as this film gets.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. I guess if Barbie dolls had been around that far back. God, that guy.
That guy.
You don't like Wish Timu Judd Nelson?
No. Not a fan.
Welcome to Screams and Streams, the podcast that looks at the best and worst horror movies as rated on Rotten Tomatoes from 1970 onwards. I'm your host, Mike, and with me are my co-hosts,
Sam
and
Chad.
Be sure to check us out on Instagram. Our handle is @ScreamStreamPod. Also, check out our website, screamsandstreams.com, for more information about all the films we are looking at. Just a warning, if you don't like spoilers, we recommend that you stop listening now, check out the film, and then rejoin us for our discussion. Today, we are looking at Kevin Tenney's 1986 film, Witchboard. It scored 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's get into it. Sam, can you give us our plot summary, please?
At a party, a guest brings out a Ouija board and they attempt to contact a spirit he knows. The spirit does appear, but it becomes apparent to the one who brought the Ouija board that this is an evil spirit that is impersonating his spirit. And despite warnings not to use the board alone, a woman uses it alone. This is a terrible one.
Oh, my God.
Say alone again. Say alone again.
Okay, I'm
Or
doing
spirit. Can we throw another spirit in there?
This is the worst one ever. I did not pre-read that. Okay, I have another one. When his girlfriend becomes dangerously obsessed with a ghost she contacted using a Ouija board, Jim reluctantly joins forces with her ex, his own estranged childhood best friend, to identify and exorcise the spirit.
There
we go.
That's it. Yeah.
That was terrible, that first one.
Can I hear that first one? Or can I see it? Let me see it. Let me see this.
It's so bad. Yeah, I was like, is it just me? Like, am I reading this right? That took me
That's very poorly written.
Yeah, I apologize.
This spirit was contacted by this spirit.
Despite not using the board alone, the woman uses it alone.
Speaking of spirits, let's get into our sinister sip.
Yay!
All right. The sinister sip for this one is the Little Devil.
Ooh.
Because of David, the young spirit, being contacted on the Ouija board. From Glenn and Friends Cooking.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers. There's a punch.
Oh.
So you might not be driving home today because this is 1.5 ounces of gin, 1.5 ounces of rum, 3/4 of an ounce of triple sec, and 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. I quite like it.
Well, it's definitely boozy.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, it hits the back of your throat.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
It's got a good taste, but yeah,
it's a sipper. We're now going to move into our first impressions. Sam, what did you think of this film?
There's a lot going on in this film, but also not a lot at the same time. It's not the worst film I've ever seen, but it's not the best. I'd never seen it before. Definitely not the best. I'd never seen it before. I've heard of it before, but yeah, it was not great. Is all I'm going to say to that. They tried to really get us to like the characters, I feel, and they put in so much backstory into it and so many weird things. Not enough people died, in my opinion. I think more people should have. It wasn't really suspenseful, anything like that.
Sam hated everyone. They all should die.
But there wasn't enough death. There was not really any gore really in it at all. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was a movie.
It was a movie.
Wow.
It was made.
I watched it. I didn't hate it. It wasn't the word. Like I said, it wasn't awful. It did feel a little bit long, and I think there could have been a lot more action in it. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Thank you for that. Chad, what did you think of the movie?
Well, I think I'm in the same boat. Yeah, it wasn't horrible. It just wasn't very good. It was just kind of, plain. The acting was very uninspired.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just too much going on. They try to hammer in this backstory of the two guys that were best buddies, but then fell out because of the woman. Is that why they hated each other? Or did it just become because he dropped out of school? We don't know why. Yeah. And they don't really develop that enough for us to care. So they get to a certain point and then they're just like, I don't know, man. I just see you with her and it drives me crazy. And I'm like, well, that's not even needed in this whole scene.
Yeah.
Just like Sam said, kill some fucking people and make a horror movie. I don't care about all this psychological stuff that's going on. Like, I'm here to be scared. I'm not here to, be emotionally invested in your journey. Yep. So just do it.
Kill some people.
But yeah, it was slow. I just kind of plodded along. There were moments that I enjoyed, but overall just kind of, not a super fan.
Yeah.
Before I get my first impressions, I'm going to give the sort of genesis as to why we're doing this movie. Fan of our podcast, I was out with them one night and they mentioned like, oh, I can't believe you mentioned my favorite movie. I was like, what's that? She's like, Witchboard. I was like, we have never mentioned Witchboard.
No.
And so when we were talking about Exorcist and the use of the Ouija board in that,
right,
my friend, she misheard and thought we were talking about Witchboard. And so she kept talking like, oh, it's my favorite horror movie. You got to do it. I love it. It's so good and all that. I'm like, all right, we'll throw it into our suggested. We'll put it into our timeline. We'll watch it. Watch the movie. Last night I'm having dinner with a group of friends and she's there. I was like, hey, I'm recording Witchboard tomorrow. And she's like, well, what'd you think? I was like, hey, it was something.
It was a movie.
Yes.
She then proceeds to tell me like, well, I watched it when I was 8 and it scared me. I'm like, 8? You're saying your favorite horror movie was something you watched when you were 8 and you made me sit through it? So leading to my first impression, never saw it before.
No, neither did I.
I did not enjoy it. The characters were comical, cartoonish, stereotypical, overwritten, overacted.
Yes.
I think
Overacted? I thought they just didn't act at all.
Didn't you see Jim's blinking?
And
There's so many moments where he's just like blink, 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 blink. React.
You're right. I totally forgot. I didn't even register that.
and you're gratuitous.
That's in your gratuitous.
Yeah. The blinking.
I love that you wrote it down.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
I didn't want to tell her to her face like I fucking hated it, but I fucking hated it. It was horrible. It was everything. I mean, I feel bad because this is the writer, director, producer's first movie out of film school. But it's literally like they took a course on what does every horror film do? And then they're like, all right, let's take that syllabus and make a movie out of it.
Smack it in there.
Yeah. It was just, it's all been done to death. And it wasn't done well in this. There were moments I liked. First impression, ugh.
Would you rather pass a kidney stone than watch it again?
Tawny's pretty, like the hair.
Yeah.
I'd watch this again over the kidney stone.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go. All right.
Shining moment. Tawny's pretty.
It's got a lion's mane of hair.
Yeah, it is quite thick, eh?
Yeah.
That might be my gratuitous. I don't know.
I don't know. It's wicked.
Yeah. We are going to get to our categories. The first is our Tropes Hall of Shame. Chad, what were some of the tropes you found?
Oh, let's see. First of all, hey, let's play with a Ouija board and nothing ill will happen. I'm going to contact what's known as a quote unquote safe spirit every time this goes bad. So, so there's that one. And then I had another one that was where they try to figure out the demon that is attacking them, and they look it up at the library.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
But that they have to travel out of town to. Like, they go on a big road trip to go to this library.
Got to go to Big Bear.
Yeah. Big Bear.
All I can think of was malt liquor through this whole movie. Thank you, Chad. Sam, what tropes did you find?
There is so much fog in this movie.
Oh,
I was
so
like,
much.
there's just so much is my note next to it. The bad guy having a name that translates to something sinister.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Malfader just literally translates to evil. So.
Evildoer.
Evildoer, yeah. He's gonna do some evil shit.
What does it mean? Evil.
Literally.
Ah, fuck.
Well, it can't be him. That's too obvious. The first one I had was a woman says, I love you. And the man says, I Know. Like there were so many references to other movies. I don't know when Ghost came out, but I feel like was that an homage to Ghost or whatever? But there's also so many like Star Wars and Star Trek references in this.
Ford said that one, and then in Ghost it was Ditto.
Ditto, right? Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah. And then the other one was just the cool slacker in sunglasses
Oh,
at the party.
Yeah.
Chad, what were some of your other tropes?
Well, I had people living in a house that's well beyond their means.
Yeah, that was a hell of an apartment.
I was like, how the hell did they afford that place?
Well, she was renting it. So I had questions about this. This is actually hiding in the shadows for me. Was just the whole who lived there, how many people, how are they having a party in the living room? Because remember all the other people in the apartment go up at the very end and they're peeping in.
Yeah.
And I was like so confused about that. And then I had concerns and I was like, how is she affording this shit?
Concerns. No, well, he is a drywall worker, but guaranteed he's not making enough money to rent that place.
No.
And she's in college. Like, well, she's a university. So how the hell are they affording that massive place?
And he must have debt from his partial med school tuition.
That's right.
Yeah,
Because he was going to be a doctor because your diagnosis was spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, that what a fuck. Unbelievable. And my second one was showing the implement of death before the death happens.
Oh, yeah.
So they walk by the sundial.
No.
And as soon as I saw the sun, they showed a sundial. Something's happening there. And she's
Is that the sound she made?
that's what happened.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah, that's over. Yeah.
Sam, what were some of your other tropes?
A couple times there was the jump scare before a jump scare that we saw. And then the cop essentially blaming the bad guy, the guy who dropped out of med school, is the bad guy in this movie, I guess.
Has a stable job.
Yeah.
He's a drywaller, and they're like, it was fucking you. And it's like, no, like, ridiculous.
Fucking you. Like that.
That's literally what it's like.
It was, yeah.
He's
And
like, just
going on a
he's just-
20-minute monologue about magic, and then he says, what I'm saying is I think you're guilty.
Yeah. Another trope that I had, or I guess these are kind of tied together, but Jim reacting violently because he gets teased about his father being drunk.
Right, yeah.
And then be like, well, he started it. Was I supposed to just take it?
But also that wasn't like teasing. That was cruel. And these are adults. Like, that's
Yeah, they're
crazy.
not like kids in the schoolyard. The guy's
Yeah, it was-
like supposed to be a law. Wasn't he studying?
Yeah, they're
for
in law. Yeah, they're in law school together. Linda and Brandon are
Yeah.
studying. They're in the same class.
Right.
But yeah, I have notes on that. I was like, that's like an unhinged comment.
Yeah.
Like, and so personal to bring out at a party. Like,
Yeah.
if someone
Well,
said
and I
that at
also-
a party,
well,
I'd be like,
they have unsettled issues from their past.
but then they go on a road trip together. And like,
But that's to heal.
Yeah.
the bros, the
bros-
brethren. These
bros
are
healing.
the bro code.
I guess. I don't know. They stay in a hotel and he says, what happened to us, man? And that's how they
So I don't know if there's not.
and that's how they like deal with it.
And my other one is the view of the city from overhead with a scream.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hope, can you guys do that again? No, it's perfectly on cue. You guys keep doing that. I like it.
It's got to be organic.
You can't-
Can't reproduce something like that.
Chad, did you have other tropes?
I just had the one more, and it kind of piggybacks off the one where he starts getting mad. He goes into the kitchen, grabs the Jack Daniels, and just power drinks that motherfucker. He's just hauling off on it. I was like, that has got to be iced tea. You do not drink
No.
that fast.
I always wonder that. Like, I like whiskey. I drink whiskey. I cannot take a full mouthful quick and slam it back. Like, no, that's how I react.
Not like that. Like you can't, like, I don't know. Some people can, I guess, but I can't. Like I can't take a whole big and drink it like it's water.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what he does. And he gets angry and he sits there and he drinks, I think it's half a bottle of JD in like 2 minutes. Yeah. Anyways, he's fucked. He's going to be shitting his pants later.
Sam, do you have any other tropes?
Mine was the love triangle. There's always
Yeah.
like the love triangle, and then it's always like, I don't want to say like in this one, it's obviously not like a jock, but it's like the rough around the edges guy. But he still went to med school, so they're trying to portray him as like this like badass. But he's like, he went to med school.
It's very 1980s. Like, he works trades. What a jerk.
Yeah. He had so much potential. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my last one.
My last one is just the spirit was always in the house.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't through the Ouija board. That was just the conduit to activate what was already there.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you all for that. We're now going to move into our one-liners, and I am going to start off this category. The first line from the film that I noted was when Jim walks into the kitchen, I think it's Lloyd says, "Oh, speak of the devil." And he says, "I've had enough religious discussions for one night." So I quite like that one. And then they ask if like Jim wants to use the Ouija board. He's like, "I don't talk to cardboard." I did appreciate how dismissive he was of it from the beginning.
Yeah, he hates it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, what were some of the lines you found?
Jim was talking to Linda, and Linda was saying like, "Oh, I think I'm going crazy." And Jim goes, "You're not going crazy. You're just becoming a mother."
It's the same thing, right?
Oh, God. You hated that one. And then another one that was kind of funny when they had the Ouija board, they're asking about the kid or whatever. And Jim replies, "Yeah, he's all right. Just a little dead, I guess."
Yes,
Which I really
I
liked.
had that one.
That's a good one. Chad, what were some of your lines?
Well, I had when Linda is getting affected by the spirit, I guess, which again is poorly done.
Yeah.
Like I don't really see a lot of progression with her being possessed and stuff, but all of a sudden, like she says a swear. And he goes,
forbid.
"Your language, babe. When did you start swearing?" And he says, just gets right on her about it. She's like, says fuck once, and then he's like all over her about it.
But then the funny thing with that is later, Brandon is like, how they diagnose. He's
Yes.
like, "Oh no, she's just pregnant. She's just pregnant." Like blah blah blah. And then he goes, "But has she sworn?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh shit, she is possessed."
She is possessed. Yeah.
Fuck one time.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam swore she's possessed.
Yeah.
It's true. Or am I just a mother?
Yeah. You're just a mother.
No wonder you're a nervous wreck, Sam. You're not going crazy. You're just becoming a mother.
Just becoming a mother.
My other one was when she first reveals, and like they don't even check this out, which is another thing that's crazy. But she's like, "I'm pregnant," and he just like looks over. "Are you sure?"
I actually had to look up when home pregnancy tests became a thing. It was in the 80s, so maybe they were just too new for them to use.
Another line that I quite liked, and I put at the top of this, burying the lead. This is when Jim comes back from the construction site. Like, they closed the site earlier today. There was an accident, and Lloyd got killed. Holy shit. That's the most important part. Like, Lloyd got killed.
Yeah.
They closed the site. No. Close the site. There was an accident. Oh, yeah, by the way, Lloyd got killed.
My
Lloyd's
best friend
Yeah.
got killed.
And then I liked this one later where they're talking about the possession and everything like that. And he just goes, "So what you're telling me is I'm living with Linda Blair."
Yeah.
But then I wrote down later, like, "Damn it, Jim, this is serious." Because he delivers it so intensely. Sam, what were some other lines you found?
My other two came from Zara Beth, who as a character is insane. They didn't come from her, sorry. The first one's about her. It was Jim. He goes to Brand and he goes, "This is your expert. Where did you find her? The circus?" She comes out and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my second one was from Zara Beth, and she said, "He must have taken some mega vitamins because he was a toughie." And then she's just like, and leaves. Yeah.
And she's trying
Mike
to
hated her.
get rid of him. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Zara Beth.
Fucking Zara Beth.
She's the waitress in Roadhouse as well. First Roadhouse.
Oh.
The good one.
Yeah, so the good one.
Not with Conor McGregor.
All right. Chad, did you have any other lines?
I did. One was Jim says, "I got a D in manners." Good one.
Another line that I like is, and I can't remember if anyone alluded to this one before, but they're talking about like she's puking, she's irritable, she's not sleeping, whatever. It's like they're all symbols of progressive entrapment. And then they're also symbols of pregnancy.
She's just becoming a mother.
Yeah.
So becoming a mother and being possessed are very similar then.
Apparently.
That's what it says.
Allegedly.
Oh, another entity is inside your
That's
body.
right. Yeah, you start swearing. You start.
That was the day I started swearing.
That was the day. Fuck this.
And then the other one I had was just to continue with the references to Star Wars. They say, I've got a bad feeling about this 3, 4, 5 times in this film. Like they really hammer home, like we're paying homage. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're alluding to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, did you have any other lines?
I do not.
I do have one more. Damn. I hate talking to ghosts with plaque on my teeth.
My God.
Just so many weird lines. All right. That line doesn't work. So we're going to go into what doesn't hold up. Chad, what didn't hold up for you?
Well, my first what doesn't hold up is Brandon's pinky ring and bracelet. They just look so bad.
But he's 1980s rich.
Oh,
how else
my
will they show
gosh,
that?
Yeah. They really hammer home. He's in the suit. He's in a loft apartment. He's got the Porsche car.
Abstract art.
But I didn't think that held up. And then another one is just in general, the acting is just hard. It's so bad.
I'm blinking at you in confusion. I don't know what you mean.
The line delivery is so deadpan. It was just like all the actors were, I don't know, half asleep.
Yeah.
Didn't really care. We're here doing this horror movie, whatever. Tawny Kitaen puts in a good appearance. Like, I mean, she gets pretty emotional sometimes and freaks out. But the boyfriend there, old Jimmy boy, he doesn't do a whole hell of a lot. And even in times of urgency, he's just not there. And when his buddy dies, like, I think the way they try to explain that is when Brandon says, "Oh, he never cries."
Oh my
I've
God.
never seen him cry ever. And then
I rolled my eyes.
yeah, so
When he
that's
started
just,
crying, I was like, oh, fuck off. It's like this
Yeah.
weird romance, like rekindling
yeah, I know.
with a Ouija
when
board.
he dies,
yeah.
yeah,
And then he sobs, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, like
He pulls
obviously
him
you're
out
going to
of
be
the lake.
sad,
He's
but
like,
they've alluded the shit out of that before.
Oh,
There's a whole
Big
subreddit
time.
about their relationship.
Ooh. I'm surprised I didn't find it. I do love me.
yeah,
I do love me a good Reddit.
You do.
Sam, what didn't hold up for you in the film?
The final scene, not the final scene, but Jim falling out the window.
Oh.
The like slow motion
Oh,
in his
yeah.
hands. It's like just his little
He's
fingers.
doing spirit fingers all the way
Like,
down.
barely, all the way down in slow motion. I was like, oh shit, he dead. But I really want to know.
shit, he did.
But I also want to know how he survived that. I know they like played into the funeral. Like it's not the funeral, it was the wedding at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which could be a trope in itself. But yeah, I was like, how did he survive? Like falling backwards on that into like what I looked like a parking lot, like outside of anyways. So that was horrifically done.
That was my what the fuck. I'm like, the flying Ouija board, Jim falling out the window, getting married with a neck brace.
Yeah.
The fact the apartment was still not cleaned up. Like
Yeah.
how quick was this wedding? Okay, so you're not gonna like this because I'm gonna take another one. The shooting the Ouija board.
Oh, that was
Sorry.
my what the fuck was this shooting the Ouija board.
It's like, and
Yeah.
it's like zooming around.
I know.
Shitty.
It's spinning around and then it's like I was like, what is happening? This guy is things everywhere.
Why was it spinning so much?
I wonder if you paused it and looked, if you could actually see the fishing line or whatever was used to make that throw around, or if they just had a PA over on the side. Okay, I need you to throw it. And he just tosses it in the air.
So bad.
Yeah,
So bad. Sorry, Mike. I took two later categories.
that's all right.
For me, what doesn't hold up, I wrote down Linda's helmet hair.
I also have this category.
Tawny Kitaen's hair changes quite frequently, but that hair for the party was just hairsprayed and
Yeah.
so huge. So
Well, that was 1980s.
Yes.
Everybody had huge hair, right?
Yeah.
I said it was so 80s it hurts. I got my comment on it.
And then another one that doesn't hold up for me was when she's looking for the ring in the U-bend of the pipe.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
The trap.
yeah,
there,
she just like sticks the toothbrush in and somehow like magically gets I'm like, there's no way that angle works.
No.
And in the director's commentary, they're like, yeah, we regret that scene. We know it doesn't work. I'm like, then you should have refilmed it.
Yeah.
Chad, did you have any other doesn't hold ups?
The answering machine. We don't have answering machines anymore like that. I mean, do people even listen to voicemail anymore, or do they just text each other?
Well, now you can just read it. It's so convenient.
Oh, that's right.
Voicemail to text.
It's the best. It's my favorite feature.
So that stuff has just gone the way of the dodo, right? Like we just don't do that anymore. And then I thought the cop analogy of the magic was just too much. It was dumb. You get what he's trying to do right away, and I just thought it didn't hold up. It didn't need.
You didn't need 3 or 4 more references.
Didn't
to it?
need 3 or 4 more references to that. And is he eating lemons in one scene? Is he in the car eating lemons?
I don't know.
It looked like lemons. And I was like, I even wrote, why the fuck is he eating lemons?
Misdirection.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Oh, magicians.
Thank you for those. Sam, did you have anything else that doesn't hold up?
Yeah, I had a couple. Carpet in a hospital is disgustingly
Oh,
foul.
yeah. That is just all wrong.
That's so gross. And then smoking inside of a house and in the hospital nowadays does not hold up.
Thank you for those. I wrote this one and I feel bad for it, but eventually she put nail polish on, but it's like, Linda's fingernails look like toenails with fungus. But she had the grossest. I'm sorry. Like, this is whatever, but her fingernails was disgusting.
Like hiding my fingernails down. Like, oh.
No, yours are fine.
Mine don't look like toenails.
Hers were like yellowed and weird. Oh, And then the other one that doesn't hold up for me is with the death of Lloyd and the whole, like, the hammers on top, blah, blah, blah. They think Jim did it. There were no witnesses. There was no one else around. And then the cop is like, so you lost your hammer. It's like, how? No, there was no wit. How does he know that Jim lost his hammer?
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So just the continuity of that didn't work for me. Chad, did you have other doesn't hold ups? Sam, what else didn't hold up for you?
The waterbed. They have a waterbed. And I was like, is that a waterbed? No way.
Oh, yeah. The waterbed was awesome. Yeah.
I was like, no way they have a waterbed. Like, that is a hazard.
That is straight out of
Just
the 80s.
so bad for your back. My parents had a waterbed. I don't know how my dad walked.
Well, it bends to your spine.
Oh,
I think I'd throw up if I had to sleep on a waterbed as an adult.
you could get them in different ways, where if you laid down, the water wasn't quite so wavy.
Right.
It was almost like stiff, but then you could also get ones that were like.
That's what I
just
imagine.
Super wavy.
I imagine like my husband rolling over and me be like, like waving around.
They were weird, man. I can't believe they were a thing. And if they burst, water was everywhere.
Everywhere. My other doesn't hold up. And this was more thinking back on times that I've been in the hospital, but the dimly lit hospital at night with nobody around doesn't happen, shouldn't happen. I've had a few stays in the hospital. I've talked to my friend that was just recently in the hospital and talking about like at night, the number of noises and things. It's like, I kind of wish we could, like, if that was ever a thing, we should go back to dimly lit corridors and silence where no one's around, but doesn't hold up. Not going to happen.
You see that a lot in horror movies, though, where the hospitals are, almost shut down.
Yeah.
And they have 1 or 2 people working to man the whole floor.
Yeah.
And it's just deadly quiet. But no.
No.
There's like 10 people, and rarely do you get a room to yourself.
I could barely sleep because the light in the hallway was on.
Yeah,
and I could hear the person screaming across the hall.
And there's all these bells and whistles going off when code blue, whatever.
Oh, yeah. There's announcements all the time.
Yeah.
There's
All right. Speaking of all the stuff that happens in hospitals now, we're going to go into our most gratuitous scene. And I think I'm the only one with gratuitousness from this.
Mine was the like blinking.
Yeah.
That I decided not to say because I was like, no, I won't bring that up. So I'm glad you did.
Oh, Jim blinks.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. My first one is Lloyd's sunglasses. I don't know if it was a character choice, a director choice, if it's something from the 80s, I don't know. But they're at a house party in the middle of the night and he's wearing sunglasses. They're working on a construction site and he's still wearing sunglasses.
He wears his sunglasses at night.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's almost seems to be a trope too in these 80s films. Is like there always seems to be some person. Because remember we watched Ghoulies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
And
they
there
all
was-
wear sunglasses.
And they all,
With
they
the
all
wiper
had-
blades?
Yeah.
I
They
like
all had
those.
sunglasses.
But
There
if you're going to wear sunglasses, you should pop your polo shirt collar and
right. Yeah.
have some juicy fruit.
The taste is going to move you.
Taste is gonna move. Yeah. There's always one person though, like who wears tinted glasses.
Yeah,
or
all
like,
the time.
Yeah, all the time. Like in real life too. I find there's some people in.
Really?
I think so.
I've seen people with like the transitions where they come inside and it takes a while for them to like dissolve or whatever the word is.
I've recently learned that those are a big hazard for the elderly, just so you know.
Really?
Yeah,
Why
because
is that?
it takes long for it to adjust, so they misstep and they fall. So they can't see clearly when they come inside. It's too dark for them. So they run into things or fall. I've recently learned that.
Oh, it's interesting to know.
Yeah.
But I could see that.
Yeah.
But I know that even when you walk in from when you go from outside into a dark area, you can barely see for a while. So,
So imagine how worse it would be with
that'd be
sunglasses
horrible.
on.
Yeah.
Well, Lloyd might know. Though,
Lloyd
with
might-
his,
well, we can't
his-
talk to
We
him,
can't
though.
talk to Lloyd. Well, we could if we
Ouija
used
board.
a Ouija board.
Hey, Lloyd, are you here?
Yes.
He's doing a figure 8. That's our
That's
special
right.
That's our
message.
special.
That's okay. I said I didn't have a gratuitous. That's my gratuitous. It's
figure eight?
Those fucking figure eights. Their shoulders are moving the whole time. It's ridiculous.
But also, I was like, low-key, this is creepy. Like, he's talking to a child and they have a secret sign. I was like, this is weird.
I know. He's
Weird.
11 and he just talks to me.
Yeah. And we have secret sign.
All right.
Red flag. And he lives alone in his apartment. I don't know. He's a creepy motherfucker. Talking to
While
dead
we're on the topic
children.
of the Ouija board and moving, in the director's commentary, the director said that people would come up to him all the time, how did you film the palette moving around on the Ouija board? It's like Tawny would
moved
move
it.
it with her hands.
Yeah.
What the
And people were like, oh, they thought some people bought so far into this.
Really?
Yeah. How did you get the spirit to move it like a figure 8? It's like, no, it's the
I don't
actress
believe-
just
Are
moving
people
it.
okay? Like, what?
Nah, some people are not.
No,
People are
clearly.
not, no. I mean,
Take movies as gospel. Like, how did you get that to happen? It's like
That's
they
scary.
moved it. That's ridiculous.
Friggin' moved it.
all right. We're now going to move into our category of terrifying or titillating. Sam, what did you have for this?
Okay, so more so on the terrifying part, but also brings in the titillating. The entire shower scene, it's like the necessary nude.
That's mine, yeah.
I knew everyone was going to have this one, but they're throwing like the nudity in just like because they do in the 80s. They're like,
right.
oh, we haven't had a nipple yet. How can we pop this in here?
In the director's commentary, they specifically said, we only put this in to sell movie tickets.
Wow.
Yeah. They fully admitted that's why they did it.
Yeah, it seems that way as well. Like it doesn't really match. But yeah, but more so on the terrifying part, like super vulnerable to be completely naked and to feel that way
Yeah.
in that type of scenario. So not only that, and then she's kind of badass. Like she punches through the glass
Yeah.
to escape the shower, which is kind of cool. But then she's locked in her room completely naked. So I just thought like the vulnerability is actually terrifying.
Yeah.
That was kind of what I said. So yes, there's nudity in there as well. But I think it's a great example of terrifying and titillating at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Well, that was well explained, and that is mine as well.
Yeah, I thought it would be. Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. No, that was awesome.
That was my test of time on this. So I was like, Linda gets shit done. Like smashing the shower glass with the towel. Like she didn't panic. Like she was scared and she freaked out, but she didn't just and hide in the corner. Like
No,
she's like,
I gotta
I'll
get
pull my
out of
towel
here.
over so I can
Yeah.
break the glass without slicing my wrist open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
My titillating was more humorous, but it was
Oh.
when
I'm trying to think of what else could be.
when Brandon and Jim are at the Big Bear retreat.
Oh,
Oh, all right.
But it was just like Brandon's like, I don't get what she sees in you. And Jim says, I make her laugh. And Brandon says, so did I. And Jim
Oh,
says,
yeah.
yeah, but only in the bedroom. So I was like, do I put that in a line? I'm like, yeah, I'll put that in terrifying and titillating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good little sexual joke there.
yeah.
All right. We're now going to go to stood the test of time. Chad, what stood the test of time for you?
My first stood the test of time is Zarabeth's death.
Yeah.
I liked how, even though it was like heavily foreshadowed, you knew it was
Yeah.
coming. I think pretty much you knew it was coming the moment she entered the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that she's going to get killed. So anyways, but her death scene was kind of cool. And then my other one was, again, we talked about it in terrifying or titillating, but it's the shower scene. I like that scene because not just because she's naked,
I was going to say, because you were titillated.
but because she does act the hell out of that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when she's trying to get out the door, it closes, it locks, and she just kind of crumbles in her towel and starts screaming. And
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like, I thought she really did a good job with that. Actually, she does a good job being afraid when the demon attacks her in most of the scenes she's in.
Yeah.
I think.
I would agree.
Like, I don't think she really chews it up. I think she does a good job with it. I think she's not really well supported by other.
Yeah, I would say she's probably the best
Yeah.
Yeah,
actor in this, right?
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So I would say those are my two.
All right. Thank you for those. My first one is the sheetrock falling on Lloyd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Like-
good scene. Yeah.
I did not see it coming.
No.
Shocked the shit out of me. Yeah, it was a well done shot, and the effects of it were good. When they pull the sheetrock off, it was
Yeah.
upsetting to see him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite good. My other test of time, I had death by sundial! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Sam, what stood the test of time for you?
I know I kind of criticized the fog in the tropes because there's so much of it, but I really liked in the graveyard scene, you could only see the flashlight in the fog.
Right.
Right.
So as he's going through, and it made him look kind of like a ghost, which I really liked, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I didn't like anything leading up to it, but that particular,
That shot.
that shot was really well done.
Very well done.
And then I also said it was kind of cheesy, but the ketchup on the knife, like when the knife gets thrown at her and then the ketchup
yeah.
drips on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was like kind of cheesy, but I kind of liked it. And I was like, oh, it's kind of foreboding. I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so those are my first two. My last one is just Ouija boards in general. Like, I think
Yeah.
too, like, I don't know if it's just me and my friends. We had one at one of my friends' houses and we used it.
Did it work?
No, no. But I think they're spooky. Like,
And ever since The Exorcist came out, there's this attraction
yes.
to them.
Yeah.
Right. And I've tried them in high school with my buddies, but nothing ever happened.
No, nothing.
And I've tried them since then from time to time, but nothing, not on my own, but nothing ever happens. They are kind of creepy though.
They're creepy,
It
which
is a
yeah.
weird idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird that you can buy them at Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Yes. Also very weird.
And, like, my parents never bought one, but I've had two friends that had them.
Yeah.
And like, I innocently, naively, whatever you want to say, like, I don't move. Right. Like, so
Yeah.
maybe my friend is pushing it around,
Yeah.
but both times, like, it moved, its spirit contacted. So, I don't believe in this kind of stuff. So my friend must have been the one, but at the time it's like, ooh, like, let's ask it questions and things
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
But are they still a thing now?
I don't
like
think they're a thing-
2024?
I don't think they're really a thing now.
I think they have their highs and lows. Like I think they
Right.
go through times where people are super interested in them and then other times they just go away. But no, I don't think they are.
Because
No.
even when the film Ouija came out, I
Right.
don't feel that it was like part of the zeitgeist of society where it's like, Ouija's,
Yeah.
it's going to
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
People know of them.
Right.
And I think people are still, maybe trying to use them, but it's not like a big.
No.
Yeah.
As big as it was. I just think they're spooky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely have a spooky, element to them.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in this stuff, but it's like, I don't really want one around the house.
No, I don't want one either. I wouldn't buy one, even if it's from Toys R Us.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pick one out of the trash of a room that's been destroyed.
No.
And say, "Ooh, this looks interesting. Let's keep it.
Does this still work? Yes.
With the bullets.
Yeah.
The
Bullet holes in it.
From when it was bing.
This thing's missing letters.
But it's okay because apparently they can't fucking spell anyway.
That's right. Yeah, they spell things
That's one
wrong.
of my questions. I was
Sometimes
like,
they lie.
Yeah.
oh my God.
They spell things wrong and sometimes they lie. It's
I was
like,
like-
so how do you know? I don't know. You just
You just
Yeah.
know.
But that was David.
yeah.
It's okay. It's David.
Fuck.
All right. All right. Thank you. We're now going to move into eerie to ear splitting, and I'm going to start off. My first comment on the use of sound in the film is to pull a phrase from what Sam says, but the opening song is the Timu Wish Exorcist, though the synth is comforting nostalgia. So it was like, it had like the weird tubular
That's
bells.
really deep.
It had like the tubular bells attempt, but then had this like synth that I was like, oh my God, it's 1980s. I'm listening to Depeche Mode. Like it just like hit that. And I put like da 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 da.
It's funny because I had a comment about that, except I said opening song reminds me of Halloween.
Yes, I have that.
Until this heavy synthesizer kicks in, then it's full on 80s.
And it was phenomenal. I want to roller skate to it.
That's right. Yeah, roller skate with lasers. That's what I want to do.
God.
Sam, what was your eerie to ear splitting?
I said I didn't hate the music in this. Throughout my notes, I have a couple comments that say that music was happening. Just like this was a movie. But music was musicking.
Music was musicking. It was there.
It was there. But I kind of liked the opening scene music is one note that I had. And then also with the Halloween song.
Yep.
I thought it came back again when Zarabeth was killed.
Right.
So when it's leading up to that, I was like, oh, this is Halloween. Like I'm literally and then it shifts again. So I don't know if it was the same one. I didn't think hard enough about it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have any brain cells to that. But yeah, it existed.
It was there.
It was there.
My other comment on the use of music was, I don't know if could be a trope or doesn't stand the test of time, but it's like where the lyrics of the song are literally saying what's happening. So Zarabeth goes back to her apartment to research.
Right.
And that hair metal song comes on. And I just put like, and the questions may be answered. It was literally just like this, like searching. So fucking terrible. And I forgot to mention something that doesn't hold up is Zarabeth was played by an actor who clearly has never been tough in their life. All right. We're now going to go into our what the fuck moment. Sam, what part of this film made you say what the fuck?
The whole film?
Yeah, honestly. But when Jim gets home, so he goes on this bro trip and they rekindle / one of them dies. And then he comes home and Linda's just like fully dressed in men's dress wear. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, we know she's fully possessed, but I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay. Unexpected.
Malfader somehow found a pantsuit.
I know. I was like, and they made it seem like it's fully not Jim's. Like, where did she get it? Where did she find?
It's very well. It's fitted.
Very well fitted. Like, yeah.
Did you have another what the fuck?
The axe to Brandon's head
Oh,
was not like, I know it's foreshadowed. Like they're showing I put axe hammer. Like it's like both.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. And that's in my hiding in the shadows is like
what tool is that?
Why did they have a hatchet attached to their hammer?
I don't know.
I've never seen that. Like
it's always claws to pull the nail.
Construction, and I have never seen an axe coupled with a hammer.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to pull nails out if you got an axe on the other side of your hammer?
I need to hammer this 2x4, but it's too long.
It's like,
thankfully, my hammer has an axe on the other side.
I've had this hatchet.
I don't want to use a saw.
No.
I don't want to put this tool down and pick up a second one.
Yeah, the cut's too straight.
I didn't have it. I called it the axe hammer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was just unexpected. Like, it was like a jump with it, right? Like, you knew it was maybe coming.
Yeah.
But, he's getting up and then right to the head. So
right to the head. The things that made me say, what the fuck? There's the comment where they're talking about like the forensics of how they can think it was Jim, where they're talking about like the throat that was cut. It's like her throat matched the rope at the construction site. Yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry. So you looked at the way the rope was cut on the gyprock to then kill Lloyd. It's like, oh, that's the same cut. I've seen CSI. They do a lot of like stretches of the science.
Yeah.
There's no way you can analyze rope fiber and flesh and be like, it's cut by the same tool.
Yeah.
So that was a big what the fuck.
Yeah.
And my other one was at Big Bear where they're on the pier and the rope gets cut again and the barrels all roll over. Somehow Jim gets knocked out.
Oh, for a while.
By like a barrel bumping into him.
Yeah. When his hand is up. Yeah. Like he puts his hand up, stops the barrel, he gets bowled over, and he's knocked out cold for what seems like quite some time.
Yeah.
Like there's a cross dissolve into the next scene, and then
implying a transition.
And then Buddy is like in the water, but I thought he was still alive because he like sprung his hand up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess that would be my what the fuck also is like he sprung his hand up and then Jim pulls him out and then he sees he's dead. And he's like, well, how the fuck did he get his hand up? He's been gored by this axe hammer. I don't understand it. Yeah.
Chad, what were your what the fucks?
Oh, well, my what the fucks were the Ouija board flipping in the air so many times after the gunshots.
That was mine too.
And then I had Brandon coming out of the water that looked like the swamp thing.
Yeah.
And then Jim grabbing him and then realizing he's dead. And I'm like, what the fuck? How did that happen? He's dead. Like the bodies don't flip hands up. So those were my two.
Thank you for that. We're now going to go into the back it up moments of this gem. And despite our obvious love in quotation marks of this film, I'm the only one that has a back it up moment. And my back it up moment is where Linda loses her shit when Jim scares her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he walks up and and she like Tawny Katan is great in this. She goes so over the top, but I enjoyed watching her go over the top.
Yeah.
And he's like, what, should I wear a bell around my neck? And she's like, you should just rattle your fucking head.
Your language.
Also on the language, his reaction is, gosh darn.
Yeah. Just ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was the only moment of this movie I wanted to back up. Because nothing else was worth it.
Yeah. I had nothing.
Doesn't he scare her a few times? Like he keeps creeping up on her. She's how many times have I told you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had none. Yeah.
He's a lurky, blinking motherfucker.
Yeah. That talks like this.
All right. We're now going to go into hiding in the shadows. Sam, what do you have hiding in the shadows for this film?
I didn't really understand the beer can wall during the seance.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Like that was my first one. So
It's like
Have you ever been to a party where people set up a beer can wall? Like, do people put?
I've seen like a pyramid before. Like this is back in high school.
In university or high school.
Yeah.
These are adults. Like,
Yeah.
Technically still in some of them. So some are dropouts of fucking med school.
Beauty school dropout.
So I don't know. Do they look too old to be university students? Because a lot of them actually, like when I watched the film and they were saying that they were in university, I was surprised. It looked like kind of an adult party, but
Yeah, because Tawny Katan was 25.
Which would make
So
as for
post-
law school.
yeah.
Yeah, post grad.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Still.
Beer can wall. And then I loved that it exploded during the seance. When she ruined it, they're like, the key thing is you can't speak. And she speaks. I'm like, fuck, Linda.
Yeah,
Linda,
don't
you ruined
leave your
it.
seat.
Yeah, Linda, Jesus. Like, come on.
For me, the first thing I had hiding in the shadow, this was more of just you got to rewatch it just for this. But if you watch the Ouija board scenes, but you sort of ignore the scenes where they cut to the Ouija board, it looks like hand jobs are being given. Like where
figure eights?
where Linda and Brandon are using the Ouija board. Like if you ignore the Ouija board, it looks like Brandon's expression is like he's getting a hand job. Like she's right beside him, her hands are over like towards him and like moving, and he's got this like stupid glassy-eyed vapid joy in his eyes.
Fucking Brandon.
So it made me enjoy that scene so much more, just picturing that.
Oh my Lord.
Sam, what else did you have?
My other ones we already talked about. I don't understand why the spirits are bad at spelling. That made no sense to me. And then I still don't understand their house situation. Like who all lives there? All the neighbors are there. It's just an apartment. How big is their apartment? The party was in the living room.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Who lives there?
Who lives there? Do they all live there? What was the party scene? Why are all these people there?
Well, it just jumps in like the whole movie starts at that party scene.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it just kind of jumps in. We don't know who any of these characters are, what's happening, what's going on. Like there's not even an establishing shot to see where they are. There's no space.
There's no
shooting into
fucking
an area.
space.
Like it would have been cool if they would have started the thing with a little snippet of who Malwar or whatever the fuck he is.
Malfater.
Yeah, Malfater. If they would have started a scene with him and then moved into something else.
Yeah, I want to see more of him.
Well, I'm going to get into
people?
the director's commentary on this then. Because
Okay.
the original cut of this film was almost 3 hours long
Well, that's not okay.
with everything they filmed. But they had filmed at the beginning, they were going to show the accident at Big Bear in the lake with the explosion of the boat and the death of David.
Yes. Okay.
And then they were going to show the spirit transitioning and like floating and getting to the house.
Okay.
And then they were going to open the film so that you would be like, oh, well, that's where the crash happened. And then the spirit got there.
Right.
So they were going to establish all that. But then they're like, but that all comes out in exposition later. So we don't need to show it at the beginning because we want it to be the reveal further on in the film.
Nope.
Okay.
I don't agree with that at all. Like, I understand they want to kind of give you a twist and it's like, and they want these characters to go on a journey to find shit out. But you as an audience don't know anything for a long time.
Yeah. And they were going to have a scene with like Linda and Jim getting ready for the party.
Yeah. Well, something like that.
Yeah, just anything.
Okay. Well, it was all filmed, but cut out.
But if it's going to make it, like, how long, what's the running time on this film?
Board was hour 38.
It felt longer. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we want any more to this film, but I mean,
but they could have cut out.
yeah, they could have cut out some other things and then put that in.
Put it in.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been cool to see more of Malfader.
Yeah.
Like, especially, we'd have more deaths. Like, we'd be feeling more suspense and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
too.
and kind of have a little bit of background. Like, I don't care about the background of Buddy.
Brandon.
Fucking
Brandon.
Brandon.
fucking Brandon.
I don't care about that. I don't care about
But I do want to hear about the demons.
I
Like,
want to hear about this motherfucker who killed people with an axe. Like, that's what I want to see.
and to show him, like, even going on a rampage and then how he was destroyed and why he came back, like that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. None of that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Bromance.
That's
was
the yeah,
key
I
part.
don't want to see what happened to us, man. I don't know, man. When I see you with her, it just drives me crazy. It's like, shut the fuck up.
We want death. We want to see death.
That's how you're
cares
about to
about
get his
this-
like Skid Row lyrics there for a second. My other thing I had hiding in the shadows was just a quick little comment of the seance scene is like the best of the 1980s. You've got Simon Le Bon, Belinda Carlisle, Cyndi Lauper, and Huey Lewis around the table. Just their hairstyle and the way they're dressed was
Nice.
like the who's who of 1980s music. And then
For sure.
my last one is the term progressive entrapment could have been a drinking game with this one.
Oh, yeah.
It's progressive entrapment. Well, that's just progressive entrapment. Like, just take a shot every time you hear that term and forget the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have done that.
Yeah.
We're now going to get into our bonus features of what we found as we looked into the film. And I'm going to start. The budget for this was $2 million, and the box office was an impressive 7.3. I know that's not a lot, but for this one, I'm amazed. Chad, what did you have for research on the film?
I had Tawny Kitaen was dating O.J. Simpson at the time of this filming.
Yes.
I thought was
Okay.
good thing she got out of Dodge there. Eh?
She got that.
In the director's commentary, they talk about he called the set every single day and be like, is Tawny there? It's Randall. Like, he would use
Randall.
he used a pseudonym
Oh,
because he didn't
yeah.
want people to know it was OJ. But then she would finish the phone calls like, that was OJ calling. What else did you have on this?
I had when director Kevin Tenney's friend Roland Carroll had to drop out of university due to financial issues. He got a job at Commodities Film, where the owner Walter Johnson was getting bored with commodities. Carroll mentioned Tenney's script to Johnson, who had interest in filmmaking. Tenney and his friend Gerald Joffrey pitched the film to Johnson, who was impressed by the idea and agreed to help finance the project. Tenney dropped out of his program at the University of South California, 4 units shy of earning his master's degree to begin shooting the film. So maybe Jim is a character based on Tenney.
Sam, what did you have on the film?
Brandon's hands on the Ouija board weren't actually his hands. His hands were too rugged to be used, so they had hand models come in. So the pinky ring was not his.
That's not his. All right.
I've been keeping that in because you guys have talked about his hands.
It's like,
like,
oh,
I
I
have
got
something.
something. I got something on that. Yeah.
Goddamn rich boy hands.
It was a little anticlimactic whenever the big reveal of that, but it's okay. And then on top of what you had said, I did listen to one of the audio commentaries as well. And Tenney had said that he didn't graduate with his master's degree, but he said that he actually wrote Switchboard as an assignment for school. So he wrote this while he was a student.
Oh,
I had just a piece from the commentary. They were talking about maybe why it didn't do so well. This opened against Evil Dead 2 and Lethal Weapon.
okay.
yeah.
Like that's a hard weekend.
Yeah, that's, you're not.
That's rough.
Yeah. And then just a couple of things on there. It being their first film, like Tenney and the producers didn't understand certain traditions that took place with film sets.
Yeah.
And one was they have at the end of each day, there's usually beer provided to the grips and gaffers. And so on the first day where they're like putting equipment away, the grips are like, well, where's the beer? Where's our end of shoot beer? And they're like, what? Like, that's unsafe. But apparently, like in the 80s, that's what you did is like filming ended while the crew puts all the equipment away. They're just slamming beer.
Right.
Yeah.
And they shot close to a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And so Kenny and the producer are like, well, there's a coffee shop right there. They're local. They got these amazing croissants. We'll provide like boutique coffee and croissants to the crew. And I guess the union guys walked up and they're like, where are the donuts? And like, well, no, we got you these croissants. And the head of the crew is like, if you don't have donuts on set in 15 minutes, we're walking off the film.
Oh,
Shit.
So they had to go
Wow.
and get donuts and bring them so that like basically all of the gaffers and grips weren't gone on day one.
Wow.
wow.
Yeah. Chad, did you find anything else?
I had the cast and crew had their fair share of eerie occurrences on the set. Some of the crew, mostly those that came in earlier, had significant problems inside the 637 Lucerne Boulevard house, such as the crew bumping into things that weren't there, as well as things that have moved that no one else around could have done during the time frame. Roy H. Wagner especially felt a strong presence at the staircase where someone was walking behind him, and numerous occurrences where the cast and crew heard whispering and talking. So
That's so scary.
again, we've heard stories like that before with people that work on supernatural or, you know, these kinds of films. And we did a film where they blatantly said right afterwards, it was like, yeah, it was all fake. It was just so we could get
Yeah.
tickets.
Yeah.
Right. So take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Sam, what else did you find on the film?
Kind of similar to you, Chad-ish. The knife scene was actually based off of someone's story about what happened to them from a Ouija haunting, which was kind of interesting. So that was in the audio commentary that I listened to. So kind of scary. I don't know if the catch up. It was a nice touch. I don't know if that one was part of it, but definitely the entire knife scene. And then also from the commentary, I heard that when they had Linda possessed and her voice changed, that's her actual voice. They just edited it to be deeper. So usually they would have used someone else's voice, but they used editing tools to make it deeper.
Cool. Just a little couple of pieces around the house that I found. When they were location scouting, they didn't have a lot of money and they found that location. It had been used in other films. And that site charged $3,000 a day to be rented for film shoots.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
And when they talked to the owner, like they went and they said, like, is there anything you can do? Da, da, da. The owner actually appreciated, like, this is their first film. They're trying. He's like, well, what is your budget? And they didn't say what the budget was. There was a significantly lower amount.
Yeah.
And the owner of the house is like, I'll rent it to you at that rate then. So that's how they were able to get that location.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of cool. And then the one thing the owner said was like, but you cannot damage anything. Like, don't fuck with my house, basically.
Right.
So they were super careful. And then for the final destruction scene, they had built fake walls to put inside. So they built a smaller room, basically, inside the bigger room. And that was the day that the owner decided to show up to visit the set. And he walked in and lost his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they finally like, no. Like these are fake walls. Like we put, and then he calmed down and then, So. Chad, do you have anything else?
I had one more thing. Tawny Katan made this movie first and then made the White Snake music video, which really I think is what she's famous for.
Yeah.
The White Snake music video with her cartwheeling over cars and stuff like that really shot her, superstardom for a while. But yeah, she shot that video while this film was in post-production. Both were released around the same time. So the music video not only made her famous, but it also helped drive sales for Witchboard 1986.
Very cool. Sam, do you have any other pieces of research?
My last one is they actually released a remake of this film earlier this year, which I
Right.
didn't realize at all. And it's actually directed by Chuck Russell, who we just talked about on The Blob. And of course, on that episode, we also talked about Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and it will star Jamie Campbell Bower, Madison Eisman, and Charlie Tahan.
Oh, cool.
Should we do a comparison?
I think we should.
Yeah, maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. My last one, just because I've got to start doing them more often, is the international titles.
That's my favorite.
So Brazil, Assassin's Spirit.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Denmark, Is There Anybody?
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a little flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
womp womp.
Poland, Devil Board. Hungary, Demonic Game. But Greece's is Game of Magic and Death.
Oh,
The magic. The cop's magic.
that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
So many speeches.
It's like some of these are like AI looked at the script. and
Yeah,
was like,
exactly.
This is what
Yeah.
it is. ChatGPT.
It could be down to Google Translate because often on the page that I look at for the foreign titles, it's in the language of the country, and then I just feed it into the
Yeah.
translator. So who knows? Let's blame AI.
Yeah.
All right. We're now going to go into our watchability scale. Sam, where would you place this?
Oh, this is hard. I didn't enjoy it, but I watched it and we've seen
But I watched it.
it was a movie.
I didn't enjoy it, but I watched it.
I had to. But like it wasn't the worst. Like I'm trying to think of some of the shit we've seen.
Yeah.
And we're coming out of a rough year.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's not a 1 for me. And then now I'm sitting, I'm like, is it a 2? Is it a 3? And I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't awful. It wasn't good. I'm going to give it, I don't know. I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to leave it at a 3.
All right. For me, I'm kind of the same. It wasn't offensively bad, but it wasn't enjoyable.
Yes.
Yeah, it's sort of just averagely meh.
Yeah.
That was what was my first comment when we started?
Yeah.
I
It
think
was made. Yeah.
It was a movie.
I think 3 is perfect. 4 is getting into that like you should maybe,
Yeah.
but 2 is like you definitely shouldn't. This is like the perfect like
Meh.
it's there.
Yeah.
It exists.
It hangs out.
It's that VHS at Blockbuster that you showed up at 11:58 and there's nothing else on
Yeah.
a Friday.
Yeah.
The whole wall of Braveheart has been rented out, and you need to go see whatever's in the back end.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm giving it a 3. Chad, where would you put it?
Oh, I'm there too. Yeah. I think I was feeling a little more generous with it at first, but then I was like, no, I think if you fall upon this movie, it's all right. But I wouldn't go actively seek it out.
If you're in traction in the hospital and someone else puts it into the routine in your room,
And you can't
So-
physically move.
and you can't get out.
temporarily paralyzed.
I guess you should watch
If
it.
there's a way you cannot leave the room, then you could sit around and watch this
Like
film.
it's not off. Like it's not good.
It's just not worth the hour and 38 minutes that it takes you to watch the film. Like, it's not good enough to keep you engaged that whole time.
Yeah,
It's
true.
the beige of movies.
Yeah, it's just, it hits a lot of tropes. It hits a lot of things that we've seen before. If you watch any other horror movie, you'll probably get more out of it. It's just not, I don't know. And yet, I still liked a few scenes of it, and I still liked some of the effects they did and what they were trying to do. I get what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
I just think there was just not enough there to keep people interested or to go.
Yep.
If they would have went full bore and made it more gory and
Yeah.
like a little more, action packed, then I think they would have had something a little better.
Yeah.
But
Or if they had more fun with it, like Ghoulies.
yeah,
Yeah.
and made it silly or whatever, then people would have, that was kind of fun or whatever. But this is trying to be very, very serious, trying to scare you. And really, there's not a whole lot scary about it. Like,
There's nothing.
Was there any jump scare? Like, did you guys jump at all?
No, I don't think so. Like I put jump scare before the jump scare in my tropes, but that was like not actually a jump scare. Like you're not physically.
Yeah.
Really,
But you knew it was all.
it was coming.
It was also telegraphed that you could tell anything that was going to happen.
Yeah.
well before it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000%.
It just made you like, okay, well, this is going to happen now.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. So predictable, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's my rant about that one.
All right.
I'm not angry about it. I just don't give a fuck.
Just don't care.
Yeah. It is the perfect, just meh.
Yeah.
It was honestly
It-
meh.
It's,
Yeah.
is what it is. Yeah.
It exists.
It exists. They made the movie.
Yeah.
It is a movie that I watched.
That I sat down and watched. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening to us. Remember to follow us on Instagram. We are at ScreamStreamPod. Stop by our website, screamsandstreams.com, where we have information about our episodes, descriptions of our categories, links to our research, our watchability scale, and a page where you can recommend movies you want us to discuss. Please rate, comment on, and subscribe to our show on any of the platforms where you get your podcasts. Until next time, this has been Mike and
Sam?
Chad.
scare you later.